It honestly gave me such big Freddy Fish vibes. This is a real fake Christmas tree. This is what vlogging is for, just so you remember the dumb shit that you do. I am in Phillipsburg, New Jersey, and I have a client here. We just finished up with them really early, and it's right around like 11:30 or something. And there's a great thrift store back here, which I got a lot of great finds from 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I got my Christmas tree here for $15. I got a bunch of Christmas lights, and I also got this great lamp for $8. I mean, I got all kinds of great stuff here, so I want to stop back in. Also, I'm reading a book. I'm reading The Sunbearer Trials because I recently read Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas and really liked it. So I was like, well, where is the rest of his backlog? I'm reading The Sunbearer Trials right now, which is about a 17-year-old boy named Teo. And he, along with several young people, are selected to compete. Love a competition. When they compete, only the very best of the best people are usually selected, and those best people are called golds. I think it's basically like what you're born into as well. So like all the gold children, very Red Rising, are all in one category. Teo is a jade, so usually jades are never picked because they're like second best for everything. But of course, Teo's gonna be picked this year, and Teo's best friend Mia is a gold who might be picked, and he's really worried about that because I'm pretty sure the person who loses the Sunbearer Trials dies because they sacrificed their life to protect the village for another 10 years. So every 10 years they have this competition, and I assume the winner is the one who like bestows the honor to protect the temple, because the very beginning of the book talks about how the gods were all created, and then how like the original god was like, I'm so disappointed in every single one of these gods that's been created. This sucks. And then they eventually invented humans, and they were like, humans are great because they don't live very long, so they're really humble. I like them. They made all the gods do something to like cater to the humans, to become a god of a domain to care for the humans. But the Obsidians were like, we don't want to do that. So they were like fighting everybody, and they're like, we don't want to do any of this stuff. And basically the sun god was like, I'm going to become the sun and trap all the Obsidians that are trying to hurt the humans. So I'm going to put a stop to that. So they sacrificed their life to become the sun, but they had also created these little balls of sun energy that are resting on top of each of the temples of the different gods. And in order to continue to like keep everything protected, then they have to sacrifice somebody every 10 years to keep it alive. Now, I love a story like this because usually what ends up happening is you never had to sacrifice anybody all along, or something along those lines where you're like, there's definitely something really sneaky going on here, and everyone just plays along with it because it's part of the village tradition. But you're looking at it like, why is it every 10 years? And is that an important number from like a symbology perspective for the culture? Or is it just like a lie you've been fed for some other reason? Is there some other coincidence that also occurs every 10 years? You know, we have to like sacrifice the children every 10 years. I mean, it's very Hunger Games-esque, you know? But like, I don't know. I don't know what the twist here is going to be. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm about, I think, 20% of the way through the book right now on the audiobook. And it has been my companion on my drive this morning, so I'm going to listen to a little bit more while I shop and check back in with you later about all the stuff I find and where I get to in the book. I want to give a little update because some time has passed, but it's about 4 o'clock right now, and I am heading back home. I enjoyed the thrift store. I have some finds to show you that I will get to shortly, and I also stopped to run an errand where I had to go pick up some packages from our old apartment. And while I was in the area, I was like, I'm gonna get food. So I got some really good Mexican and Indian food. It's kind of my first meal of the day. Sort of just ate 2 samosas just in this moment in traffic. And traffic is bad. Traffic is bad. So just kind of sitting here for a while. But Sunbearer Trials is going well. So I only have about 4.5 hours of the audiobook left to go at this point. I'm enjoying it a lot. It honestly almost feels like not a lot has happened. Like, all the trials have happened, but essentially what we're seeing is Teo has made friends with a couple of the other tributes. It's very hard not to talk about the Hunger Games. Tributes in the games, and generally, like, those are like the good guys, and then there's a whole bunch of people who just are so bad. Like, they just keep breaking all the rules, and they keep like really being super violent. And again, the point of the games is not to actually harm each other, it's just to win. So there are different trials that are things like race to the top of this mountain, or like get a little baby bird out of a nest. So I think they're on like their 5th or 6th trial or something like that at this point. So the thing that's surprising is usually Jades like Teo don't even compete in the first place, but they're definitely not expected to place well. And Teo could keep consistently getting like number 5 and like pretty good scores, pretty good rankings. I forget exactly how many people there are. I want to say there's like 8 or 9 of them, or I guess 10 is a nice round number, so it's probably 10. But he keeps placing really well. So he and everyone else is like, why? Like, what's going on? So Teo's mom is the goddess of birds. So Teo has these feathers, but Teo is also trans and has the brown feathers of the females that usually would have sprouted brown wings. So Teo wears a binder not just on his chest, but also for his wings, because he really doesn't like them, and the way that they look is not very gender affirming, but also they just get in the way of everything, like taking a shower with gigantic wings. It's a problem. So he usually wears a binder around the wings. But at one point during one of the first trials, they're trying to climb the mountain, and his wings come out, and he flies. And everyone is in awe, like shock and everything, because also the wings are now the brilliant, beautiful turquoise color of the males. Something I really enjoy about Aiden Thomas's books is that the drama so far never centers around the fact, at least not entirely, around the fact that someone is trans. Like, that's not the whole big problem. And in this book, there are gender affirming ceremonies where once you've basically like, I know what I am, then they actually have a celebration for you, much like a quinceañera. They have everyone come together for your, I forget what exactly they called it, but it was like a gender ceremony basically. And in Cemetery Boys, part of the story was about how the trans main character was not accepted entirely by his family, because he was like, well, I'm a guy, and the guys in our family can do this very specific thing to our family that only the men can do, where they can summon the spirits of dead people. And pretty early on in the book, I guess minor spoilers for Cemetery Boys, but pretty early on in the book, he's able to prove that he is a brujo and he can do that. And that's not what the whole story is really about. I just really like the fact that we don't have to endure all this vitriol and transphobia, and that generally speaking, while it is sometimes baked into certain aspects of the world, it's not like the whole entire story is centered around that. And instead, we get to just see trans characters live their lives and be part of regular book plots as well outside of that. And I think that that just gives a lot more breadth to the genre. Of course, this is really about the trials, the Sunbearer trials. So there's a lot of back and forth between different people who are competing. A lot of the golds have been trained since birth to be really good at the games. And I think the person who wins goes to each of the different temples with the elixir created from the sacrificed person to go, I don't know, like pour it on the rock, I guess. But they use the elixir somehow at each of the different temples to reinstate the protection for everything. I guess I was saying this before as like, oh, they're in this little village, but really it's like every person is like from a different city, and all of the participants are traveling around to the different cities as they're competing. So they basically live on this huge boat, and they travel around on the boat to each of the different cities. It's like if the Hunger Games wasn't the Hunger Games. It was like exactly the opposite, because the person who loses gets sacrificed, and the person who, like, a bunch of people can win, I guess. Like, you could just not lose. And also, it just travels around all over the place instead of just being in the capital. Or, does the Hunger Games take place in the capital? You go to the capital, but then I think they throw you somewhere. So, I don't know. But it's so reminiscent of it, though, because there's so many of the, like, trials and things that they do where I'm like, this is a lot like when they were in the woods and you have to travel around and like hide in the trees and stuff, and like it's really different because I don't think there's as much of a sense of suspense. I really don't feel like scared for any of the characters, honestly, because I think maybe it's just like the way that the trials work is still pretty unclear to me, because it's still really unclear to a lot of the characters. They've pretty much only experienced watching them as children, so they never really had a lot of context for it. Honestly, it's like I don't really feel like there's that much for me to talk about, and I don't really know how much of this book I want to spoil. So I'll just say, like, I am enjoying it. I feel like, you know, it's mostly just been like running through each of the different trials and kind of having really similar results. But now that we're getting near the end of each of the different competition events, the people who are normally on top are getting real nervous about getting sacrificed. And I think maybe that's also why, like, I'm not feeling so much suspense, because it feels like Teo is winning, or at least not going to be sacrificed. But I'm waiting for the twist, because I feel like they're going to turn around and be like, the person who you thought won actually lost, or something. I made it back home, and hopefully I'm not going to scream into the microphone this time. But I made it back home. Finally done with the adventure of today. So I wanted to show you some of the fun stuff that I picked up at the thrift store. But first, I got a really exciting package, so I thought it'd be fun to open it on camera. I've never seen this little pouch before. Ooh. Ooh, these are really cute. So I think these are called Nele. They're tiny little huggy hoop earrings. Let's put them on. I'm just taking off my other Ana Luisa jewelry to put on more Ana Luisa jewelry. Okay, let's open up this blue one. I hear a chain rumbling. It's the Hannah! Can you see the beautiful little rose in the middle? Let's put this one on too. Oh, once again, take off my existing Ana Luisa jewelry to put on more Ana Luisa jewelry. Okay, lastly, let's open up the last package and see what we got. Another necklace. This is some of their newer. Oh my gosh. Well, what a great time to let you know that there's a 2-year warranty. This one is called the Tyler. Okay, well, I just put on the Hannah, but I really do want to try on the Tyler. So I've got these, the Nele, I have the Hannah, and I have the Tyler. Very fun names. And let me tell you a little bit about Ana Luisa while I'm at it. Ana Luisa is a sustainable jewelry brand which makes very high quality and affordable jewelry. In fact, they are 100% carbon neutral and water neutral. So when they are producing all of these beautiful pieces of art, they are not doing so at the cost of the environment. If you browse their website, there's a big variety of all kinds of necklaces and earrings of many different styles. All the jewelry that I've ever had from Ana Luisa has stood up to the test of time, and I can wear it in the shower, I can wear it to bed, and it still looks just as clean and fresh as the first day that I put it on. And if you would like to get a piece for yourself this holiday season, you can check out my link in the description below because there's a sale right now. It's like their biggest sale of the year. So the more you buy, the more you save. And if you want to check out their stuff, I'm going to leave a link in the description box. So please go check them out. And now, let's go look at the stuff that I thrifted. See this lamp that I'm at? This was $8 at the same thrift store. Same place. Look at these beautiful flowers all over it. Beautiful. $8. I even got this tree from the exact same thrift store that I went to today a couple weeks ago for $15. This is a real fake Christmas tree for $15. This, and I'll let me show you. Me and this tree, I mean, I'm squatting a bit, but it's a little bit taller than me, actually. It's a little bit taller than me. Okay, with the great and utter disbelief out of the way, let's get into the thrifts. I have this incredible thing for $4 that I got. Let me show you. It's currently lit up because it is plugged in. This is a little holiday hotel royale. Lights up and everything. And guess what? It's not the only one. This one is not lit up because it's not plugged in yet, but a little town hall, if you will. Guess what? $4 more. This other little one, this one does not have a light in it already, but there's a little spot for a tea light, so I can stick one in there. This little Santa's workshop. Okay, wrong holiday, but I did get this Welcome Friends pumpkin, $3. And this, I figured, would be really nice fall decor for next year when that time comes again. I do love getting cute cups, especially for the holidays. This is a really cute cup that says Season's Greetings. I got a little ornament for a new home. It does say 2021 on it, which is wrong. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to change that because it's on this little metal key. So I'm going to try to write over it to make it a 4. Or just snip it off. Snip it off. This was $3, and I do believe the cup was $1. I got this fun little game called Nab It, which is from the makers of Boggle. What if my camera focused? Then what? My mom loves Boggle, and I thought this would be a very good little fun game that she would enjoy. It seems kind of like Scrabble, but you can take some of the letters away in between and maybe try to build more words. So we'll see how that turns out, and hopefully she enjoys it. This was $8. I got this cute scarf. I will be washing it before I actually wear it, but it's really cute. Do you remember when people just wore scarves all the time? That was like the fashion choice. I think we should start doing that again. I'm going to start doing that again. Feel free to join me because you should just live your life in a fun way. $3. This was a very fun find. I did try this on the dressing room. Check this out. Can you say meow? Look at this. This is the sleeve. And it's just a cheetah on the side. And on the other side, another cheetah. Isn't they cute? I always forget that when I record with a microphone, I'm not supposed to yell into it. I'm sorry. Very adorable, very stylish. I am a fan. $9. Oh, I forgot something. Hold on. Okay, I've never really been a person who's like, I want a welcome sign, but for $3, I'll take one. This is another little piece of holiday decor for now. It's all been good. And I also am almost done with the Sunbearer trials, so really a very eventful day. Also, I didn't even mention this about the Sunbearer trials. I don't know why, but I was like, oh, not that much is happening. Definitely something crazy is going on because everyone starts, like all the other people that are competing, every once in a while just start acting weird. Like weird. I have a feeling we're getting to the point where it's going to be revealed, like, why are they acting so weird? Because these are people who they're not necessarily like friends with, but they're the other competitors where they're kind of like, all right, I kind of get what you do. And some people are like a little bit more cutthroat than others, but they're really becoming very brutally violent, where they begin to like try to not just win, but to actually like harm each other very severely. and just begin attacking each other. And then they'll like wake up and be like, whoa, what just happened? And everybody's like, I don't know, just keep competing. Like, no big deal, no big deal. Clearly, something is wrong. Something is happening. So we're getting close to the end of the book, but not quite there. I wanted to at least say they just did this really fun trial. So they all went to this large temple, and you have to collect different stones, and each stone of like a different variety has a different value. So like the gold stones are worth 100 points, the jade stones are worth like 50 points, and then the obsidian stones are worth much less. But there's many more obsidian stones than there are gold stones, and then there's one sunstone which is worth a shit ton. So basically everyone is going around trying to like grab as much stuff. It honestly gave me such big Freddy Fish vibes in the best possible way. I love Freddy Fish. It felt like that one where you're going into the temple, trying to collect all the stuff, and you had like the 3 different colored jewels, and you had to go put them into the right place, and then a different part of the cave would open up. Such a good game, such a great game. If you've never played it, I don't know what to say. Find yourself a CD-ROM and a way to play a CD-ROM and have a great time, because what a great game. So fun. Anyway, I'm loving the way that the trials now have gotten to a point where they are not just like, you know, climb a mountain and whoever just does it first wins, but there's a little bit more strategy that's involved. And Teo knows this going on, being like, okay, well, some of this is like, just collect the stones and try to win, but some of these are much more dangerous to get than others. So there's definitely some level of skill that's required to actually get the really, really good stuff. Sometimes stuff is out in the open and it looks too easy because there might be like a trap or something. So I think it's really cool that that's an element of danger that the main characters have to be worried about and thinking about as well during this whole situation. Now, again, I don't want to really give anything away, but I just don't really feel stressed for our main characters because I don't really feel like they're in trouble, except something bad did just happen. Actually, no, I take it back. We should be afraid for one person. So if things don't work out well for them, they might get sacrificed. And now we have to start worrying about that again. This also kind of makes me think, like, should I actually again try to pick up To a Darker Shore, because I didn't really give that book a true chance, but that book is also about like trials and sacrifice. Actually, I don't know if it's about trials, but it's definitely about sacrifice, where like there's a god, someone gets sacrificed, I think every year, something along those lines, and then the main character does something bad, her friend takes the blame, and then as a result that friend gets sacrificed, and they're like, we didn't think he would do it because I think the friend is like royalty, and they're like, you wouldn't do that to the prince or princess, and then turns out that they would. Cutthroat. I think if I really like Sunbearer Trials, I might try To a Darker Shore again. And also, it's been on my currently reading list for so long, unbelievably long. I really am excited to see what happens next in this book, and to like put all my fun thrifts away and stuff. I am gonna just save the little new home ornament to hide it from Matt. We have like a little pile of gifts that we have in the corner for everybody that we're giving gifts to this holiday season, and I just keep hiding all of the stuff that I have for him in a bin somewhere so that he can't see it, and other stuff, I guess I've just been so brazenly hiding it in the same exact spot as the other gift, so let me go move that now that I'm realizing this. This is what vlogging is for, it's just so you remember the dumb shit that you do.
Relationship, or were you tempted to cheat but then you kind of got lucky with the fact that your husband was a pervert? This was a question that I wondered as we went deeper into the story, because I'm in the side of him hanging out and sleeping with his ex-girlfriend, but she feels like it wouldn't be fair for her to say no because he had allowed her to accept a date with this other guy. And so again, this is where I'm like,
He can just do whatever he wants, it's fine. Well, you know what? Let me update about the Sunbearer Trials while I have you. So, I'm really close to the end, and I was right about there being a twist. I don't think I want to spoil it for you, but I feel like I had a feeling, but I didn't listen to my heart. This isn't, I mean, like, I kind of had a feeling of, like, something suspicious, but this was not at all what I had expected, which I probably just should have, because that's just what it's like when you read a lot of books. You would assume that eventually you're like, I can see every plot twist coming because I just, like, read a lot of books and I watch a lot of movies, and then you just know when something happens. But I feel like they rosebudded me. Not that I've ever seen Citizen Kane, but if I had, I feel like I'd been rosebudded. Ugh. I finished the Sunbearer trials. Also, I'm sorry if this was a jump scare of suddenly jumping into my face, but I just finished the Sunbearer trials while I was actually editing this video. A little meta for you, isn't it? But yeah, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Man. I mean, it did end, like, really abruptly where they were like, we're gonna need more candy to be continued. Okay. Lucky for me, Celestial Monsters did come out between when this book was written, first book, and right now when I decided to read it. However, I do think the hold for it is like 19 people long, or 19 weeks long, or something like that. So it might be a little while until I get to the sequel, unfortunately. But I did get a little excerpt of book 2. So we kind of like pick right up where we left off, but with a little bit of a POV shift, which is pretty interesting. So I'm pretty excited about jumping back into this world whenever I can next, based on whenever the hold comes in. And I think I'm going to just end the video here. I mean, this is a great little, like, tiny day in my life, and it's just been fun to go thrifting and to read a little bit, and I always end up reading pretty much an entire book the day that I go thrifting because I just listen to it while I browse and drive all over the creation. So thanks for coming along with me, and I hope that you enjoyed. If there's anything you're really enjoying that you're reading right now, or anything you're not really enjoying, let me know, because I always like to hear what you guys are reading and what you're up to. Okay, my darlings, that is the end of the video. Don't forget to check out Ana Luisa's biggest sale of the year. Check out everything via the link in my description down below, and have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm Rachel, this is Let Me in the Library, and I will see you next time. Bye.